All right, you guys, welcome back to another video. Today, I just wanted to go over, I guess, like how like Gundam is essentially doing, and a term that I've been hearing a lot of lately for people like myself who are either like resellers or people that invest in card games, and that term is scalper. But for those of you guys that are new here, my name is Will, and I run a small online TCG business called Keone Games. So just right now, I'm just kind of just sleeving all of my cards that are at least rare or rare plus. I ran out of penny sleeves. So it seems like Gundam is doing, the game itself is doing pretty well. The singles seem like they're holding their value. I know there was a little bit of a dip in prices for some of the singles, but they seem like they have slowly started creeping up, and I'm not sure if it's because the game has been out long enough now. I think it came out in the beginning of August. Events have ran. Stores are now, I think, running out of booster packs to sell. At least locally, when I've looked, it seems like most stores are completely out now at this point. Or if they do have any, they're just not willing to sell it and they're holding on to it. There have been a couple stores that I heard of, like within like a 20-30 mile radius of myself, that do sell booster packs, but they're at like $9-10 each, so it's like double MSRP. I've only ever bought booster packs at $5 each. Like even these, let's see, these starter decks, I was only able to get one of these. I was able to buy more, but I was buying them for my cousin back before I decided to start looking into Gundam and investing into Gundam. So I was kind of his like plus one whenever he went to any store and he wanted to buy the max quantity, because he enjoys playing the game and he's looking at it from a slightly like investment perspective, but I think he's mainly like a player, whereas myself, I do enjoy playing the game, but I do look at it as more of like I look at it in like a reseller's eye. So I've been pretty lucky when it comes to Gundam so far. I don't think everyone, like on average, I don't think you're supposed to pull cards as good as I have been pulling. I think I've only sold, like in my little Gundam box here, I think this is about 7 packs worth of cards. All of my, okay, you guys can't see, all of my like more expensive cards from those 7 packs have sold already. I do have like this promo card. It's like 2 promo cards in here that I got from doing the sealed event. But like even in the, I don't know how many packs in total, like what I have here on the desk with, these are all like the bulk cards. I think this is about like 9 packs, 9 or 12 packs. I bought them in 3s. And then, you know, like I opened like the Kashatra, which is, this is, I don't know what it's at now. It's like a $30-35 card. I think it's creeping back up again though. At one point it was under 30. I got one in my first set of booster packs, and I think I sold it for 38 at the time. Even like the Death Scythe. This is like a very playable card. I mean, you guys can see the cards or see like the foiling, but compared to Magic, these cards look so much better. This is not even like alternative art. We can see all of the like, I don't know what kind of foiling it'd be considered, like fractured foiling. It's not just a plain foil. Yeah, got a good amount of LRs, even got 3 alternative arts. This is, I think, my favorite one out of all the packs that I've opened. Will be like alternative art. This one looks the coolest, in my opinion. Then 2 more alternative art cards as well. I thought this one was going to be worth a lot when I first opened it. I think it's only like a $20-$25 card, but still really cool LR Plus card. But yeah, at $5 a pack, I feel like you cannot go wrong opening these Gundam packs if you can get them at MSRP. I know most people here in the US, they're unable to get them at MSRP, so it probably isn't worth it. I feel like for me, if I could find them at maybe like no more than $7 a pack, I would buy them and open them for their singles. But I haven't listed any of my singles since that first sealed event that I did. These are just like some of the rares I have. I don't think most of these rares are really worth very much. Rares in this game feel kind of like uncommons, where most of them aren't worth too much other than the Perfect Strike Gundam. I think I had sold one of these before for about $9-10. It's probably gone down in price a little bit, but this is like a really good card. But yeah, I feel like the rares, I don't know if it's the same thing as like in One Piece, but I feel like the rares don't really hold their value too well. I'm just gonna like start organizing these. I don't know when I plan on listing these cards. Just because, like I said, I'm pretty sure a lot of people or a lot of stores here in the US have been either selling out of their booster packs and their starter decks. There are talks about a wave 2 supposedly happening. I've heard there is supposed to be a wave 2. I'm just, from like the store owners that I've spoken to, some say that that's what they're waiting for. Others have also said that there isn't going to be any more. So I'm not sure if they're speaking to their distributors and that's what their like distributors are telling them, or if that's just like their opinion and what they believe. It's hard to really say. I feel like a lot of the information out there is very conflicting. If there is no reprint, well, not reprint, because they would have had to print them already. If there is like no wave 2 where they're planning on releasing a second wave, I feel like the prices of set 1 are going to just keep going up for Gundam. There's too much demand. A lot of people don't have the decks that they want. They are still looking to get a lot of cards to like fill out their decks. So it's hard to believe that Bandai wouldn't at least try to print more before set 2 comes out in, is it October? It's October. That's still like another 2 months. So that's a long time to be waiting for the next set, which might be unprinted as well. So yeah, I'm still undecided on what I'm going to do with the little bit of Gundam cards I have. Like, as you can see, this is like really all I have. Like, these are all my LRs and alternative art. These are just my rares, and then everything else is my common uncommons. The bulk common uncommons, there are some cards that do sell decently well, like above my floor price of 25 cents. But there's also a lot that are just like any other game out there that are like true bulk. There are like those like common and uncommon cards that might be worth like $1 or $2, but for the most part, I feel like most of the value is really in like these LR cards or like the, oh, this is alternative art. So it's alternative art and an LR, but any of the alternative art or the LR rarity cards. So yeah, it's hard to say how Gundam is going to be doing. It seems like it's a very popular game currently that people are interested in playing. I feel like if they are unable to reprint enough cards though, or print enough to meet, I wouldn't say meet demand exactly, but at least meet most of demand, this game could potentially be hurting. I know like on forums and stuff, I've read people saying that they're interested in the game, but they're not going to continue like trying to play just because they can't get cards that they want to play. They can't build decks that they want to play. I'm not sure if those people are trying to build like expensive like meta decks, but the fact that they can't play the decks that they want to play, you know, it's not good. Like if you're playing a card game, you want to be able to get most of the cards for the deck that you want to play. I realize trying to sort and talk about this at the same time is difficult, so maybe I will stop and sort later. But yeah, I wish I was able to get more of these starter decks. This is starter deck 1. From what I've heard, you need to get 2 of every, well, you need, for whatever colors you do want to play. This is white blue, so if I wanted to play like a white blue deck, you kind of need to get 2 of the starter decks, so you get 2 of the good copies of the good cards. I'll show it to you guys on screen in a little bit. I'm trying to think what other things I want to talk about. I'm going to be kind of like all over the place. My mana box orders, or not mana box, mana pool orders have kind of slowed down a little bit. Well, just all my orders in general have slowed down a little bit. I probably need to reprice my inventory. I think it's still priced a little bit too high. Even though I've like uploaded a lot of inventory, like I think I just uploaded my Assassin's Creed like starter decks. I'm still not getting sales. I don't think I've sold any from the Limit Break Final Fantasy decks. I think I've uploaded, I forgot how many copies of each card. It's like 10 of each or something. Those aren't selling, so I think my inventory just might be priced too high, even though I feel like my inventory is getting wider and wider. But something I definitely need to order more of are these like bubble mailers. These ones I got for free like a long time ago, so I've just been like using them. But these are like the 4x7s. This is like typically what I use when the orders are like about 20 cards or like less. Maybe 30 I can fit in here, but I only have like 5 more of these, so I definitely need to order more of them. My mana box, keep saying mana box, that's the phone app to track like magic cards, but my mana pool orders have been larger, and they do require tracked shipping. I've even had one order that was only like 20 cards, I think, that the person ordered, but they actually paid for the $5 shipping. I do have a little bit more of these like 5x9 like mailers, but I don't want to buy them in, but there's like only 12 of them in here. It gets like, this is like 10-20 bucks or something if you were to get these like from Staples. So I need to find, whatever, I'll fix that later. I need to find a place where I can buy them cheaply in bulk, because I will probably need at least a lot more of these like 4x7, 4x8 type mailers. I do have, should probably grab it. I did get an Amazon order, but let me take you guys to my computer real quick. Pivot this up a little bit. Wait, can I zoom? You guys probably can't. I feel like I don't really record during the day too often. Like these starter decks are going for, I guess, like $41. People are selling just like the deck only because it comes with like a promo pack in there as well for $35, and surprisingly they do sell. Like you can see one sold today, another one sold yesterday. Actually, a few of them sold yesterday. So people are buying just the brick. I believe I bought mine for $25. So the store I bought it from did mark it up a bit. I figured I would keep it and then maybe like resell it later for a small profit. But if I can just sell the brick, and they call it the brick, if I can just sell like the deck only for $35, I mean, shipping's gonna be another $5, and then like with fees, I don't know, that's gonna bring it down to basically like what I paid for the deck, like after taxes. But the thing that you do get is, let me show it to you guys, the promo pack, or the bonus, I think they call it like a bonus pack in this game. It's, I think it's one card, yeah, it's one card, and it's an alternative art version of one of the cards within the deck. And I think on average, the card is probably worth maybe like $8, $7, $8. I know people are trying to sell them for like $18, $20 here on TCG Player, but when you look at the sell-through rate, it's pretty bad. Like none have sold in the last 2 weeks. So it's probably something that I would just personally open, see what card I get, and then try to sell the alternative art version of the card, because I think it's going to be a lot easier to do that rather than trying to sell this sealed and letting someone else gamble. This is how I prefer to sell the card, or sell like the pack. Like I have all of my like Outlaws of Thunder Junction, sample collector packs, and like the Final Fantasy ones. I now have a bunch of like those Murders of Karlov Manor ones, but it seems like the Gundam community, just, they're not interested in buying the sealed pack and gambling. Maybe it's just less people willing to gamble. But yeah, if I were to sell the deck, I don't even know if I would sell the brick itself, because as you see, like the top card, the reason why you would buy the starter deck is because you get 2 copies of this card, the Gundam card. And this card goes for about $16 right now. So that's $32 already. The rest of the cards are kind of bulk. Like as you can see, the next highest card is like a $3 card. I don't know how many copies of this one you get. It's a common, but everything else goes for less than 25 cents. So it's really just these 2 cards that most people want. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if selling just the brick itself would be better, or breaking it apart and selling 2 copies of the card. But it's something that I could think about later. I don't intend on selling the deck anytime soon. I want to kind of see where, if there is going to be a reprint, or if there is going to be a wave 2, I should say, of product being released, how big wave 2 is going to be. I'm thinking if there is a wave 2, it's probably not going to be the same size as the initial release. You would think like the initial release would have like the most product. I'm thinking it's probably going to be like Magic reprints. It's going to be like Pokemon reprints, where it's going to be a fraction of the size of the initial wave of the product releasing. So if that's the case, I'm sure prices will dip down a bit, but then it's just going to bounce back up. Just from the little bit of experience I have when it comes to watching the market. I know compared to a lot of like resellers and investors out there, I'm definitely very, very new, but That's just my opinion and how I think the market, or how I think Bandai is probably going to have wave 2, if there is a wave 2. Like I said, there are some people that believe that wave 2 is going to happen, and then other people that are saying that there is going to be no wave 2. This is basically it. Whatever they've printed, they're printing no more. But one more thing I wanted to go over. I realized I completely fat fingered that and stopped the video. But the last thing I kind of want to just kind of show was the Amazon package I got. This was supposed to come at the end of this month. I don't know why it would have taken that long. But all of a sudden I got an email this morning saying that my package that was supposed to come at the end of the month is now coming today. So I just got this about like an hour ago. This was a big investment. I have never bought this many collector boosters before. So I got a bunch of Edge of Eternity's collector booster boxes. I thought about canceling this order just because I wasn't entirely sure how well Edge of Eternity's would do. I think these were $300 on Amazon. I think they're still hovering around $400. I think selling them at $400, there's a little bit of a profit to be made. If I could sell them locally, it would be a lot better, just because I would prefer not to have to like ship these, get a good box for it. So I want to make sure it's a good sturdy box, make sure it's like really well protected. And yeah, I don't know if I would like pay for, like a signature. So I mean, if I do sell these at $400 each, I probably want to make sure that I don't get anyone saying like, hey, I didn't get my package, even though it has track shipping on it. I want to make sure like signatures required. And yeah, I'm assuming I should I don't know. I haven't really shipped stuff that's expensive before. Trying to purchase insurance for it as well. Not entirely sure how much insurance for a $400 order would cost, but yeah, all those like little things will just eat into profits. So if possible, prefer to sell these like in person. I'm sure it's going to be hard to sell these for $400 in person unless the price continues to climb up. But if I get someone on like Facebook Marketplace that says, they're interested in it and they offer me like even like $380, that will more than cover like my shipping costs and fees. So yeah, this was the last thing I want to kind of talk about and show you guys. Hoping this is a little bit shorter of a video compared to others. Okay, so just kidding. I realized while I was editing the video that I didn't even talk about the second part I wanted to talk about, which was the term scalper. I've had that term directed at me a little bit more lately. It was a term that I didn't really know the definition of. You would hear it being talked about when, let's say there's like a Taylor Swift concert or something, and people are buying the tickets and then like reselling them immediately for, like a much higher price. I realize my camera's looks a little crooked. And I understand their perspective and where they're coming from. I guess I could see myself as potentially a scalper. I don't know. But like, what would you, I guess I'm asking for the people that actually do watch the video, like what would you consider a scalper and a reseller? Like what's the difference to you? And some people will say like, buying a product for cheaper and selling it for more. And to those people, like I've had this debate with like other people as well, and then I then go to them and tell them, okay, so what would you consider like a retail store then? Because if you look at it, they're buying from a distributor for cheaper and they're marking it up and selling it for more. Would you consider those stores scalpers? Any like big retail store, like okay, let's say like Costco or Sam's Club, they're always having those like Pokemon drops now. They're obviously buying the product for a lot cheaper and they're reselling it still at a good price, but they're buying it a lot cheaper than what they're selling it at, obviously, or else they would be losing money. Even if they were to break even, they wouldn't do that. I mean, I know like Costco, they have like certain things like their rotisserie chicken for $5, they're like $1.50 hot dogs. They're potentially like losing money or breaking even on like those products, but for the most part, any company retail store, they're not going to sell things at a loss. I feel like there's a lot of stores out there that do this, but I feel like when it's a individual person that is buying product and reselling it for profit, they automatically get called a scalper, even if, let's say, there's like limits. So let's say I go to Costco, there is a limit for Pokemon 151 and there's a limit of 2. I buy my 2 and I post it on Facebook Marketplace immediately and try to sell it. You'll get people that will not be interested in buying it all, but it's almost like they're upset, and I'm not sure if they're upset because they were unable to find any out in the wild themselves, or they feel like you bought out the entire store or like half of the store or something. And you'll get people that will, I will get people that will just like private message me and just call me a scalper and then like not respond at all. And I don't know, like it's almost like they have nothing better to do. I understand some people are upset that like reselling is even a thing. I feel like some people believe that resellers like shouldn't exist, but if they're so upset with it, then they need to either, I guess, be more aware of when certain drops are going to happen. I also do understand that sometimes like sales, they will happen randomly in the middle of the day. People that have 9-to-5 jobs, they can't like go out there and leave work and try to purchase that product. I understand that, and in those scenarios, it's like it's unfortunate, but you're probably just gonna have to buy on the secondary market. I know there are some players like in Gundam, they get very upset whenever they see someone selling, let's say like a booster pack for like $10 each. I mean, stores are doing it, or if they are selling starter decks for anything above MSRP. And I think MSRP for like those starter decks for Gundam is $12 or $13. But even if you see someone selling it for like double MSRP for like $25, which is what I feel like a lot of stores are selling those starter decks for, if you can find it at $12, that's great. Like I haven't seen any store locally that sells them for $12. The cheapest I've seen it was like $16 or $17. You'll get everyone in the community, whether that be like Reddit or Facebook, wherever it's being posted, just call that person all kinds of like names. I've seen people like threaten people like on like these like Facebook group posts saying like saying things like, you're lucky that I don't that I don't see like on the streets or something like that. Like with those kind of like threats like that, like what's the point of threatening someone online like that? And in 99.9% of those cases, I am sure that if those people that are those like keyboard warriors that are threatening those people online, if they were ever confronted, they would cower and back down. Like, I've had a lot of threats towards me before online, not because of like being like a reseller or scalper, but just like even like online gaming. When I used to do a lot of online gaming before, I would get a lot of people that would like threaten me, and I'm just like, okay, like, you don't know who I am, you don't know what I'm capable of. Like, why would you even bother like threatening someone for? Like, you don't know what they could potentially like do to you, and it's kind of pointless. So I don't know. I feel like, I guess like to me, the term scalper is more of a person that is buying a product and trying to quickly flip it. I know to other people, even if you were to, let's say, buy a product, say I bought Prismatic Evolutions ETPs, I bought them and I waited a month and I decided to then sell it, I'm still considered a scalper, even though I'm not trying to quick flip it. Even if it's like, let's say a few months later, I could be called a scalper because I'm reselling something, I've bought something, spent, I look at it as like a short-term investment, and I wait for the market to go up and then like resell it. People will then tell like other people in a community to like, don't buy from these scalpers, don't buy from like these like resellers, they're like scumbags and all that stuff. But the thing is, like, if there wasn't that demand, then the price wouldn't be like what it's at. Like Prismatic, I don't know what Prismatic Evolution ETBs are at now. I don't know if they're still like above $100, but yeah, you can get them for like MSRPs like $60. For me, it'd be like $66 after tax. People, I could sell them for like $100 or at least $90 because that's what the market is at. That's what people are willing to pay. If people are willing to pay that, you can't tell people to like, you can't tell people how to spend their money. You can't tell someone to like not buy from this person because you feel like it's not worth it. That's like a you thing. It's not what everyone believes, or that's not everyone's like financial term I'm looking for. Some people just have more financial means to be able to afford something at like a markup. If it's something that they find desirable enough and like worth it, of course they're going to spend their money and buy that product. So yeah, I'm just realizing like with Gundam, because I've been looking into Gundam a little bit more. I'm like in one or two Facebook groups regarding like Gundam, like buying, selling, trading. It pops up in my feed a lot, and I'm seeing it a lot more. I'm seeing a lot of people telling other people within that community to like not buy from people that are trying to sell things in bulk. Like, they might have like 4 of every starter decks, or they might have, you know, like a case of set 1 booster boxes. But like, how do you know how that person got their case of booster boxes? Like, I feel like most people locally, like, you might be able to only buy like 1 or 2 boxes like locally. If they got a case, that probably means that they pre-ordered it like months in advance, or they got it somehow like wholesale. Like, you can't just automatically assume that just because someone is selling something in a large quantity that they are a scalper reseller, or, you know, who knows? What if they own a store and they have that? But I see people then saying like, if they are a store, they should sell it locally only to their community. It's a store though, like, they can do with that product like however they see fit. What if they live in a small town? Like, they may not have the community to be able to, or there might not be a community that's actually interested in the product to buy from them, so they have to resort to selling it online. I don't know. I've just seen all kinds of reasonings behind why people should not buy from resellers, and I mean, it's fine. It's just, I feel like when it comes to then calling people names and being very aggressive towards them and then like threatening them, that's like, there's no reason to do that. Yeah, that was like the bit of a rant that I wanted to also talk about today. This video is probably gonna be like a lot longer now because of that like longer rant, but yeah, I realized I wanted to like at least add that on to the end of the video because it was a topic that I've been meaning to kind of talk about, but haven't, just because I don't know. I feel like it's a very sensitive topic when you talk to like other resellers like myself. But yeah, I guess until the next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.